हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू दी अनस्पोकन प्रोज, जहाँ पर मैं आपके लिए लाता हूँ ऐसे प्रोज दोज हु हैव वर्कड रियली हार्ड, ऐसे प्रोज जो कि दे हैव यू नो दे हैव नोन द थिंग फ्रॉम वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम एंड दे नीड अ प्लेटफॉर्म टू रेज देयर वॉइस। ऐसे ही एक प्रो मेरे साथ आज जुड़े हैं, अश्विन जैन। अश्विन भाऊ, वेलकम टू द पॉडकास्ट। I am very honored because I have worked with you in a previous organization, Fan Clash. And please, ये आपका इंट्रोडक्शन देना इज लाइक छोटा मुंह बड़ी बात हो जाएगी with this huge amount of experience that you have. So please, आप खुद ही अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस करिए.
Thanks, Bharat. Thanks for having me. First of all, great initiative. Um Transparently, I've seen a lot of podcasts, but something that basically adds value to people who are new, right? Freshers in a way. That's what the objective is, and it basically is a great initiative, I will say.
Yeah.
Just for people to tell them like who I am, where I come from, right? I'm Ashwin Jain, as you mentioned. I've been into ecosystem for 17 years now, and when I say ecosystem, it's gaming. I'm talking about. Uh, I'm in a gamer myself. Played Counter Strike for 10,000 hours, and that something is a big achievement for myself because I love the game. The game is something. This game is something gotten me stick to gaming. Else, I don't know. Where would I would have been? But to tell you a little bit about my professional journey, I worked with various organizations. I worked with ASUS ROG, BenQ Savi, Book My Show, Pan Clash, a lot of other organizations as well, right? But today, for the past couple of months, I've been building a platform. It's a startup that's GoPlayer, and objective is to help gaming cafes grow from 40 to 70% in occupancy. And because these cafes operate for 30 years now, and there has not been a such platform in India globally, which is helping them grow. There are other alternatives. Yes, मतलब operations के लिए alternatives है, like the way you basically manage your cafe, ERP system, and so on, right? But does anyone help any gaming cafe grow? No, there has not been such a platform yet, and that's what I'm trying to do here. And that's just one thing, but my objective is to help build and grow grassroots gaming in India, which actually starts at gaming cafes. And a lot of people have started their journey at gaming cafes, or maybe they have played on their friends' devices and so on, right? These people don't have devices and they might not even buy. They just want to spend time. There are some serious gamers, right? And that's what grassroots gaming is all about. And that's something I'm trying to grow and evolve in India. Well, it's already there. It's just that no one is actually looking at it. Everyone is basically looking at the top ecosystem, the top people, the top players, the top organizations, right? But what about those individuals who spend time in gaming, but do they get anything in return? No. No rewards, no recognition, no platform to celebrate their gaming experience, right? I've been into ecosystem for 17 years. I could basically celebrate it. But are they able to celebrate? No. And that's something I'm trying to solve, where people will get a platform to celebrate themselves, get motivated, get encouraged, right? And gaming maybe at that point of time will be looked at with a different angle, which is not the case right now. There are a lot of barriers and so on, but with time, I believe lot of things could change, and I believe that's my background,
तो
and that's what I'm trying to do.
भाऊ, तो यही चीज़ मैं समझाना चाह रहा हूँ दैट आई couldn't have summarized and introduced this 17 years of monstrous experience in this field in a very few words, क्योंकि it is taking you time to introduce that thing. So imagine how would I have done that. So
And
that is really nice because now I have someone who is with a very gigantic experience on my podcast. It's really an honor. But let's break down everything. So we'll go back. You have to scratch some of the surfaces from your past. So let's go back to the year where you started the product management, and how did you step in, because I know that you have been into multiple roles. So let's start your journey from the very beginning, that how did you come into product management and where did you come from.
the product management was something I'll say just got introduced to me randomly. I will say, of course, I come from a tech background. I'm been into so my background comes from BSc IT. So I was not much into tech. I understood tech. I loved tech in a way. मैं बहुत I think 12-15 साल पहले थोड़ा बहुत कोडिंग भी करता था, HTML5 CSS वगैरह. It was very easy to do that and so on. So वो टाइम पे हम करते थे. But I was not much into tech and so I came purely from FMCD background, marketing and such, but not in sense where I built product as such what I'm doing right now. But as a product manager, I got introduced to product back in, I believe, 2019 when I started working with Book My Show. That was the first time. I didn't know what integration is. I didn't know what I would even do. Right, just that marketing का role है. I joined the organization and then I realized there's a lot I can do. And this is where I was introduced to product management, where for the first time when we joined hands with Gaming Monk. And it was a very simple integration, but मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी चीज थी. लाइफ में पहली बार मैंने इंटीग्रेशन किया था कहीं पे.
तो ये
And
गेमिंग
that was
मॉन्क्स क्या है?
different
गेमिंग
platforms.
मॉन्क्स
Sorry.
तो गेमिंग मॉन्क्स आप जो बोल रहे हो ये क्या क्या था ये?
So Gaming Monk was a gaming tournament platform which got acquired by MPL and later on, and after that the journey changed and so on. But objective हमारा वो टाइम था कोविड था, और कोविड के टाइम पे बुक माई शो पे बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं हो रही थी. एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव यही था कि थोड़ा बहुत एंगेजमेंट कैसे किया जाए, राइट. एंड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम वी पार्टनर विद गेमिंग मॉन्क. जो वो टूर्नामेंट्स कर रहे थे दोस वर अवेलेबल फॉर पीपल टू पार्टिसिपेट ऑन बुक माई शो. So people participated through Book My Show. Entry Gaming Monk के पास गई. Gaming Monk basically went on to do the operations, tournaments वगैरह. And end of the day, people got rewarded. Some people didn't got rewarded and so on. So this was the first time when I got introduced to product management in sense. But yeah, a lot of things were not handled end to end by myself because it was new to me and so on. But yeah, I think that's how my journey started, and this is when I started loving product management in sense. I wanted to build product, be a part of it, and so on. And I started learning a lot of things and so on.
So someone with 17 years of huge experience, what does product management means to you?
I think product is all about solving problems, right? That's a base of it. If you're building something and if you're not able to solve problem or add value, right, then I don't know what even we are solving for or whatever we are building, right? Uh, a lot of people look at product management in sense of that कि यार कल ही product बनाना है, but it's not the case. Uh, Objective होना चाहिए, vision होना चाहिए. Like whatever you are solving, doesn't matter it's a small feature or a big product, right? It's always about solving product, and that's what product managers do. They identify what the problem is, where that problem comes from, how big the problem is, how small the problem is. That's secondary at some point of time because business bana chahiye, that's there, guys. But how many people I'm trying to help as a product manager, that's very important. And I believe that's what product management is particularly. And then comes the rest of things. Growth करना है, product marketing करना है, product बनाने के बाद basically उसको scale करना है. Those are other things that comes with it. That's the. But base of it is just solve problems.
So आपने कहा that your journey was with Book My Show. तो actively आप सबसे पहले product manager Book My Show में ही थे?
I was not a product manager particularly at Book My Show. I was more of a business manager with a marketing.
क्या difference होता है product manager business manager में?
So product manager is someone basically particularly looks at product as business. Business manager just particularly looks at business. बिजनेस मैनेजर का काम है कि बिजनेस आना चाहिए, पार्टनरशिप्स करो या फिर कहीं से BAUS लाइक बिजनेस एज यूजुअल कैसे ग्रो कर रहे हैं हम, like other aspects how are we growing and so on, right? So it's just business. But product managers are more on this in the way that कि प्रोडक्ट के थ्रू हम कैसे बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, राइट? कि प्रोडक्ट नया फीचर लागे, नया फीचर आएगा तो मेरा प्रोडक्ट बढ़ेगा, प्रोडक्ट बढ़ेगा तो बिजनेस बढ़ेगा एंड सो ऑन, राइट? बिजनेस मैनेजर्स डोंट डू दैट. बिजनेस मैनेजर प्योरली दे जस्ट लुक एट पार्टनरशिप्स एंड पार्टनरशिप करने के बाद फिर वो जो पार्टनरशिप करने के बाद जो आगे का जो स्कोप होता है, दैट समथिंग इज फॉरवर्डेड टू प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर एंड सेल्स.
राइट, तो मतलब प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर जो है
माय शो. हाँ जी.
तो प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर आप कह रहे हो समवन हु वर्क्स विद द प्रोडक्ट and works on the product and brings the business, but on the other hand business manager is someone who extends the verticals apart from product as well.
Absolutely, but in a way business managers, even business managers look into product but not dedicatedly. वो business लाने के बाद product में देखता है. Product manager पहले product देख के फिर business देखता है, right?
Okay, okay.
थोड़ा difference है. But yeah, प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी की बात है बेसिकली. बिजनेस मैनेजर के लिए बेसिकली बिजनेस प्राइमरी होता है, प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर के लिए प्रोडक्ट प्राइमरी होता है, देन कम्स द बिजनेस विद इट बिकॉज डिपेंड्स हाउ द प्रोडक्ट हैज बीन बिल्ट एंड सो.
Right. So how was your journey at Book My Show? मतलब कैसे किया, क्या किया, थोड़ा सा बताओ.
Journey was crazy, I will tell. During COVID, we were actually trying to do a lot of different things, but COVID mein we got an opportunity that a lot of people were at home, right? And we wanted to give them an objective of doing something like kuch to ghar baithe karo, right? A lot of people were playing Ludo, some were playing Candy Crush, right? But at that point in time, gaming was very popular. Like a lot of people were talking about gaming, live streamers आए, content creators आए, and they helped gaming grow. And at the same time, the other games like PUBG Mobile, Free Fire, बहुत सारे games अच्छे चले. And this is where we saw the opportunity. But then, of course, we partnered up. Building the product from a scratch takes a lot of time, so we partnered up, and it was very helpful. And karna kaise tha, that something was very important, like how to integrate, how to do it, because of course there are product managers. Book My Show itself is very capable of having a great product managers, but at that point of time, gaming kaise karna hai, right? We wanted to do something without actually having to take a lot of efforts at that point because things were changing drastically at the company. This is when I took up a small part of the product management, very small part of it, where integration करके हमें डेटा यहाँ से वहाँ भेजना है, डेटा भेजने के बाद फिर वो operations handle कर पाए without actually having to manually intervene and look into that part of operations and so on. This is how things started. Then we looked at it like maybe we can be a tournament aggregator, right? So there were other platforms as well who were doing tournaments. हमने सोचा we can even take care of that as well. But yeah, it was a long-term goal, which may have not been built upon. But yeah, it was one of the small things that we did there at the Book My Show, and it worked out for a while. But then things change again because Book My Show is first out of home experiences, right? And that's what Book My Show will always be about. And yeah, then things after COVID, it came back to normal with time, and yeah, it changed.
So 17 years is a very long time, more than half half of my lifetime अभी तक का. ठीक है. So उतना आपने काम कर लिया. How has product management evolved in those years from very starting till now, till this date? How has it evolved?
Transparently, if I tell you, right from 2019, things have drastically changed for me. Right? Then Book My Show के बाद I think I was with YouTube पे mobile where I am gaming. I built I am gaming जहाँ पे esports वाला part I was looking into and so on. This is where I got more attached to because logics is something I love, right? And without logics, product doesn't नहीं बनता है. And I loved logics कि A से B जाना है, B से C जाना है, C से D जाना है, D से A आना है, ये कैसे आना चाहिए, right? And this is where I got more push towards product manager. I was more of a product marketing and so on, but product management is something I looked into. But yeah, at scale, of course, उसके बाद you know what what we did at Fan Clash and so on, fantasy with E-stars and activities and so on. But then I think I was more pushed towards product management during my time with YouTube and mobile, and then Fan Clash, and then the roles following it, and so on.
Right. So, since these much of years have taught you so much about product, what impact has it on your leadership skills and the way you have handled teams and even yourself as a manager?
I think in my time, it helped me learn a lot of things transparently. पहले तो हम खाली एक्सेल्स मैनेज करते थे, राइट? अब चीजें बदल गई है. हम यूआई मैनेज करते हैं, देन यूआई मैनेज करने के बाद उसको डेवलप करते हैं, राइट? एंड एट एन एक्सटेंट डेवलप करने के बाद हाउ इज द ट्रैक्शन गोइंग ऑन हम वो भी देखते हैं, कितने लोग आ रहे हैं, who is using it, how is it being used, where are people coming from, right? ये सब business management में नहीं आता है, marketing में आता है, but not at an extent because वहाँ पे चीजें बनी बनाई मिलती हैं, you just need to track it. प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट में क्या होता है ना कि you need to create funnels, you need to आपको वो खुद से समझ के करना होता है, right? So this is where things change and this is where it helped me learn a lot of things, not just as a product manager but as an individual who comes at a leadership role, and maybe extends a lot of this knowledge towards the other individuals in the team, right? If you're tracking a funnel, what is the best metric that you need to track, right? कि बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट में आप इतना ट्रैक नहीं कर सकते जितना प्रोडक्ट में कर सकते. प्रोडक्ट में बहुत सारी चीजें आती है, लाइक डाओ, माओ, टैपियो वगैरह, लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, राइट? And this is where I believe I was able to add a lot of value to the team, and as a leader in itself, right? uh, Educating, like, one thing as a product manager, we know that we are able to learn a lot of things, but as a product manager, actually, are we able to extend that towards other individuals in the team? That's very important, right? And I believe that's what I've been able to do. And yeah, I'm telling you, I've learned a lot of things. I'm transparent if I tell you, especially with GoPlayer, while I'm building this, right? I started off as an individual who maybe I thought ki freelancers, I'll hire a freelancer, I'll get things done, right? But with time, someone who is building some things with scratch, you need to know what you're doing.
Yes.
You need to do it yourself. If as a founder or as an individual at a leadership role who is basically thinking on long term, right? Vision, क्या बनाना है, क्या नहीं बनाना है. If you're just thinking about it and not doing it, right? Then वो vision टिकता नहीं है. Right? If you really want to build on it, you need to do things yourself. And yeah, with time, I learned things. I started doing things myself. A part of it, a UI, then development of it. Thanks to Cursor, the founders of Cursor, transparently, AI helped me learn a lot of things again, which I never did. Right.
Yes.
So I'm able to do a front end development myself now. Right now, the journey changed drastically, starting from one being a business manager, moving towards marketing, then product management, and now at an extent I can develop things by myself, right? Of course, product designer comes in between.
Yes.
Then yeah, and that's what I believe product management is all about. We solve problems, so not just on a product level, in day-to-day life as well, in our life, in others' life who surround you, right? And yeah, I believe, and that's what, as a leader, you add value as well, right? Matlab, product manager makes you a strong leader. That's something I will always carry with me, because you tend to think with different angles, right? Product manager में यही होता है कि ऐसे end of the day logics, right? ये किया तो कैसे होगा, ये किया तो कैसे होगा. So this you try to apply in your day-to-day life, right? इसके साथ कैसे बात करना है, उसके साथ कैसे बात करना है. He's facing the problem, how to solve it. He's facing the problem, how to solve it, right? And I believe that's how my life has changed, from being a business manager to marketing, then product, and now at an extent developer as well, right? At some point of time when I speak to investors, they tell me that, do you have a tech developer? I told them, will the partial developer work for you, right? and I believe I'm able to add value. That's very important, right?
When you were talking about the work you have done and all the things that are presently you are doing, you are giving vibes of a experienced entrepreneur. So अभी मुझे ऐसा कुछ ना फ्रेशर, ना सीनियर, ना सुपर सीनियर वाली फीलिंग आ रही है. मुझे आ रही है एंटरप्रेन्योर वाली फीलिंग. सो वो एंटरप्रेन्योर वाली स्पिरिट, आपका काम, टेल अस मोर अबाउट इट कि हाउ डिड इट स्टार्ट. मतलब कैसे एंटरप्रेन्योरल जर्नी स्टार्ट करी, कैसे ये दिमाग में आइडिया आया कि यार ये स्टार्ट करना है.
Actually, gaming cafes have been very close to me from my very first day into gaming. Of course, I won't say first day, but yeah, few days following my first day, it started this way. And at that point of time, gaming cafes were popular हुआ करते थे. But 5 years back, when I actually wanted to do this, during again before COVID, at Book My Show, it was an idea for me कि करना है करके. But unfortunately, COVID came in, things changed. We even had a partner who is now my competitor. But it didn't work out, things at that point of time. But yeah, we did a lot of trials at that point of time. But हाँ, so gaming cafes वाला idea ये था कि मुझे grassroots ecosystem को बढ़ाना है. Because I'm been a gamer myself. At an extent, I was a pro gamer, but end of the day, I was not able to follow gaming that professionally. Passionately, yes, but professionally, मैं नहीं कर पाया. But there are other such people in the ecosystem who are following gaming passionately, but they're not able to fulfill on what they want to do, right? And that's what grassroots is. And कुछ professional gamers है, like pro ones, like who already have gotten recognized, but there are other individuals who don't know how to get recognized. Because सबको देखो, when you do something ना, दो चीजें important होती है, either reward or recognition, right? Everyone's life, doesn't matter it's a gamer or a non-gamer. And a lot of people talk about being popular or being able to let people know that who I am, right? ये सवाल हर कोई पूछता है. सुबह उठ के ना आईने में खड़े रहकर हम यही सवाल पूछते हैं, who I am, what I want to do, where I want to go, right? And even gamers do that. But that part of the I will say perspective and thought that the gamers get, right, that's just there. वो कहीं जाता नहीं है. कुछ गेमर्स होते हैं जिनको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है वो आगे चले जाते हैं, राइट? बट बहुत सारे ऐसे गेमर्स हैं बट स्टिल देयर who wants to play, I'll say their dreams are just dreams. They were not able to fulfill. And that problem is there because grassroots is not been think about. प्रो गेमर का हर कोई सोचता है यार प्रो गेमर है, उनको इनवाइट करो, टूर्नामेंट्स करो. बट मुझे ये सॉल्व करने के लिए आई वांटेड टू क्रिएट अ बेस कि ग्रासरूट गेमिंग का बेस क्या है. Gaming cafes is the base of grassroots gaming. And once, after a long time back, I believe in April, I visited one of the gaming cafes. And of course, the idea came to me 5 years back and I was on it. But of course, because of COVID, things changed, so couldn't do it. And so, but yeah, back in April, last year, I visited one of the gaming cafes. वहाँ पे मेरे को पता चला gaming cafes were barely able to survive. At least for that cafe. Of course, some are doing break even, some are having profit. I've been there into business for 8 years and so on. This business is as similar to how restaurants were before Zomato, right? And I believe I should be able to solve this problem. And the problem was because gaming cafes had to wait for customers to come to cafe, and then they could provide the service, right? Of course. एंड ऑफ द डे सर्विस कैफे गेमिंग कैफे में मिलेगा, बट वो गेमिंग कैफे हमें गेमर के पास लेके जाना पड़ेगा, राइट? एंड दैट वाज नॉट द केस. दे वर नॉट एबल टू, बिकॉज़ ऐसा कोई प्लेटफॉर्म ही नहीं है जो गेमिंग कैफे को गेमर के पास लेके जाता है, राइट? एंड आई थॉट दिस इज व्हाट आई बिलीव इज द प्रॉब्लम एंड द रीजन ग्रोथ इज स्टक एट एन एक्सटेंट, राइट? एंड दिस इज वेयर आई थॉट कि let's roll back. Let's reverse engineer the entire process and see कि gamer को मैं gaming cafe में कैसे ला सकता हूँ, right? And those gamers who are grassroots gamers, because professional gamers already have their own PCs, own devices, घर बैठे खेलते हैं because they spend a long time on PCs, right? पर कुछ ऐसे gamers होते हैं they still spend like 5-6 hours on PC playing games, but घर पे करे तो problems है, right? पर घर के बाहर करे फिर भी problems है, right?
Yes.
मुझे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना था. एंड दिस इज हाउ माय जर्नी स्टार्टेड इन अप्रैल. आई टुक अप दिस फुल टाइम विद मी. मैंने बोला लेट्स ले आउट द बेस प्लान कि हाउ कैन आई गेट मोर गेमर्स टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द इकोसिस्टम बाय इनवाइटिंग देम एट गेमिंग कैफेज बाय बिल्डिंग अ प्लेटफॉर्म.
Yes.
which will be a community of gamers who go to gaming cafes. And this is how my journey started. We did a beta testing in December, onboarded 16 gaming cafes. ऑब्जेक्टिव यही था कि बेस नहीं बनाना, ऑब्जेक्टिव ये था कि गेमिंग कैफेस के प्रॉब्लम कैसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. सो राइट फ्रॉम अप्रैल अंटिल दिसंबर वी बिल्ट अ प्रोटोटाइप फॉर अ बेटा टेस्टिंग. दिसंबर में वी गॉट टू नो दैट कि इतने सारे गेमिंग कैफे, बिकॉज वी द काइंड ऑफ गेमिंग कैफेज दैट वी ऑनबोर्डेड वी हैड डिफरेंट टाइप्स, सम वर सिम रेसिंग कैफे, सम वर प्ले स्टेशन कैफे, सम वर पीसी कैफे, एंड दे ऑपरेट वेरी डायनामिकली. किसी की प्राइसिंग पैटर्न्स अलग है, किसी का अभी ऑपरेशनल पैटर्न अलग है. कोई दिन में चालू रखता है, कोई रात को चालू करता है, राइट. कोई किसी का टाइम अलग चलता है, रिचार्ज अलग चलता है, सब्सक्रिप्शन, बहुत सारी चीजें थी. नाउ मैं अनदर चैलेंज वाज कि इसको स्ट्रीमलाइन कैसे कर सकता है ऑनलाइन, नॉट ऑन एन ऑफलाइन बेसिस. लाइक ऐसा नहीं कि कैफे पे जाके मैं परचेस कर रहा हूँ, मैं घर पे परचेस करके या फिर कहीं पे परचेस करके आई शुड बी एबल टू गो टू कैफे एंड आई हैव माय पीसी अवेलेबल फॉर मी. The biggest problem that gaming cafes are facing right now is that they're operating in 2 kilometer radius, right? I have helped them operate in a larger radius. Because gamers घर से बाहर तभी निकलेंगे जब उनको गारंटेड उनका पीसी मिलेगा या फिर स्लॉट मिलेगा खेलने के लिए, राइट. अगर मैंने अपना पीसी स्पेसिफिकली, लेट्स से देयर आर 10 पीसीज इन अ कैफे, और मैंने पीसी नंबर 2 मेरे को बुक करके अगर कैफे पे जाके मेरे को वही पीसी वो टाइम पे चाहिए, राइट, वो अभी के टाइम में सॉल्व नहीं होता. I created a platform where an individual घर बैठे अपना पीसी बुक करेगा 6 बजे. The moment he is at 6, later at 6, like 6:10 को भी पहुंचेगा या 5:50 को भी पहुंचेगा ना, he'll get his PC available.
Right.
No one will be able to use that PC. We created such system. Rather, there are other alternatives available who are just solving the operational problem and not the growth. And this is where I'm trying to solve the growth problem. Now, gamers will step out of their home because now they know that कि अगर वो घर से बाहर निकलेंगे, गेमिंग कैफे जाएंगे, तो उनको उनका पीसी जरूर मिलेगा. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मैं गेमिंग कैफे चले गया और मेरा पीसी मिला ही नहीं. Either I have to wait in the rush hours, ये प्रॉब्लम होते हैं. Of course on the normal times नहीं होता है, but rush hours में प्रॉब्लम होते हैं. Most of the people go in rush hours, right? कोई कॉलेज के बाद जाता है, कोई जॉब के बाद जाता है, right? And this is what I'm trying to solve now. This is where growth is not a barrier now. Now gaming cafes will be able to identify कौन कहाँ से आ रहा है. My radius is increased. I'm able to target more people. A community is there who is backing the gaming cafe now, right? Right now we don't have activities like which helps grow the community. Yes, we are going to add that soon, like tournaments, other community activities. Unfortunately, I won't be able to talk about those plans right now. But the only reason gamers will go to gaming cafes because of community and social interactions, right? Which is not happening at a cafe right now. People go to cafe, they have their own fun time alone or with friends, but they're not able to find new friends, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to create an ecosystem where individuals who are grassroots gamers, right, they are able to get safe place to spend time individually with friends, with other individuals who they don't know, maybe they get to be friends with them and so on. And this is how the grassroots ecosystem will grow, and with that gaming cafes will grow as well. And end of the day, in the long term, we will be able to put gaming, India in gaming on a larger map, right?
Yes.
Right now, that's been done with a lot of by a lot of other players in the ecosystem, like Rafton ने किया है, top content creators as well जिन्होंने किया है, right? Mortal Scout, other individuals उन्होंने किया है, and that's greatly appreciated, right? But there is still a lot of room for, and there's a lot of potential in PC ecosystem, console ecosystem, right? Which has been there for a long time, but वो जो growth रहता है ना, that's been somewhere, and I'm trying to solve for that growth for every individual who is a part of grassroots gaming ecosystem.
Right. So my question is around this. पहले तो मैं अपनी observation बताता हूँ. The thing which I observed since अभी ऐसा होता है कि I realize अभी podcast करते वक्त कि why is it difficult to understand vision of a founder, क्योंकि एक फाउंडर ये सारे ऑब्स्टिकल्स पार करके ही पहुंचा होता है when he is up to something. So he has overcome all the obstacles अपनी पूरी जर्नी में. जहाँ पर जिस पॉइंट पर वो पहुंचा है वहाँ से वो सारे पेन पॉइंट्स देख के निकला है और तब जाके वो बंदा वहाँ तक पहुंचा है. So when you were saying that you were developing an ecosystem for gamers. What I really understood is that you were trying to build how you thought कि ये बना सकते हैं, because you were able to empathize. आपने बोला कि you face this problem in your time. Now things are closing down, तो there must be some reason behind it. You understand the pain point. आपने कहा कि मैंने 10,000 आवर्स की गेमिंग करी हुई है. दैट इज़ नॉट अ जोक, नॉट अ वेरी एवरीडे थिंग दैट यू सी. तो ये चीज़ आपने फील करी, आप बाहर गए, कैफ़ेज़ में बात करी, कैफ़ेज़ को इंट्रोड्यूस करी ये चीज़, अलग स्टार्टअप्स हैं, अलग वीसीज हैं, उनको पिच करी ये चीज़. देन यू गॉट टू गॉट दिस चांस ऑफ leaving your mark on the ecosystem. कहने का मतलब ये है कि what separates an entrepreneur from a product manager, a simple product manager, is this empathizing thing. Because मैंने देखे हैं product managers अब तक, they are working inside cubicles, they are working with their laptops, when the real user is roaming outside, real user is having pain problems outside of that cubicle. Not everybody is stepping out. You, on the other hand, decided to step out, empathize with them, understand their pain point, and then you were able to find out कि real problem क्या है पूरे flow में. So this is what I understood from the whole scenario. And coming to the next point जो आपने कहा था कि onboarding the gaming cafes. My next question is around it कि tell me the process, tell me that particular thing, how which convinced gaming cafes to come to your platform.
Initially, if I tell you, back in December, it was very difficult for me to convince a gaming cafe to get onboarded with platform. Right? I didn't have anything to add value. Transparently. December, the kind of product I had on a beta testing phase was in a way just to understand what are they facing, right? And the reason I was able to connect with the gaming cafes was coming from a like-minded ecosystem, right? That was the only way I was able to convince them that I'm able to, I have a vision in place, I have something in mind that I want to solve for, and that's something going to help you out, right? On a long term. The biggest problem that I have seen that gaming cafes are into is they at some point of time are I will believe they're stuck on a point where they're looking at only short-term goals, right? That's because कि एक गेमिंग कैफे को सब कुछ करना होता है. He himself is an entrepreneur, right? Yes. उसको कैफे चलाना है, उसको उसकी मार्केटिंग करनी है, बजट्स नहीं है, right? ये सब चीजें सॉल्व कैसे होगी? And the biggest problem is that gaming cafe owners, they don't come from the marketing background. Yes. Right? Some of them do, but a lot of them they don't. उनको नहीं पता है कि मुझे मार्केटिंग करके अपने कैफे को कैसे ग्रो करना है. Right? And this is where I believe they face a lot of problems. And ये चीज में सॉल्व करते हैं. So GoPlay is not about booking. GoPlay is not about operations. It's about growth. We are world's first gaming cafe growth platform that helps gaming cafe actually grow. Amazing. And that comes with a thought process where I seen gaming cafes कि उनको marketing का idea नहीं है, कैसे करना है, पैसे नहीं है, because already उन्होंने इतना बड़ा investment कर चुके हैं gaming cafe खोलने में. Correct. Which takes at least a year, 2 years to recover. उसके बाद एडिशनल मार्केटिंग का खर्चा, दे आर कंप्लीटली रिलायबल ऑन वड़ा पाव प्रेफरेंसेस एंड सो ऑन. उसके ऊपर ही उनकी रिलायबिलिटी दे आर नॉट एबल टू स्पेंड. बट स्टिल द न्यू गेमिंग कैफेज दैट आर कमिंग इन, दे आर डूइंग सम इंस्टाग्राम एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स. Right. We go on to Instagram and just search gaming cafes and start following it for a few days. You'll start seeing those ads on your profile. And this is where I believe there's a lot of room for and a lot of potential to help gaming cafes with product that I'm trying to build, and I believe I should be able to do that.
Yes, definitely. And ये काफ़ी अच्छा इनिशिएटिव है. I see, because you have found out the root cause of the problem. You have found out how the gaming cafe owners are feeling about it. So someone who is into the product management, see आपने खुद ही बोला starting में कि a PM is a problem solver. So you are trying to solve a problem, and someone who wants to transition, a very simplistic environment to become a problem solver, क्या चीज़ ज़रूरी होती है, क्या माइंडसेट ज़रूरी है? मतलब इनिशियली आप बताओ कि किसी को अगर बनना है प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर, हाउ टू डू दैट?
Actually, देखो, problem solver is kind of thing that doesn't just comes with you when you're born, right? You look at the surroundings with a different angle, right? When you start looking at people के वो क्या face करे, so basically it's all about asking questions, right? Once you start asking questions, and this is where you start to understand कि हाँ कुछ तो issue है. Am I able to add value there, right? And this is where this is how you become a problem solver, right? अगर आप सवाल ही नहीं पूछोगे तो आपको प्रॉब्लम पता ही नहीं चलेगा, यू आर नॉट एबल टू सॉल्व दैट. सो ये जो 5W1H है ना, most of people say that कि it's a marketing I'll say it's a marketing lesson, 5W1H, but I won't say that. I will always say that 5W1H is a routine that every individual should be able to follow that. Once they start following this, they start
why, where, when, then
right.
1H is how something.
Right. So, and once you start asking these questions, not to just yourself, other people around you, right? बहुत सारी चीजें आपको प्रॉब्लम पता चलेगी, and then you're able to solve the problem, and that's how you become a problem solver. And I believe that's the base of it. और भी अलग perspectives है, और भी अलग angles है, right? You look at data. That's one way of solving problem, right? Most of the product managers do and so. पर अगर बेसिक से चालू करना है ना, सवाल पूछो. That's the base of it. डेटा बाद में आ जाएगा.
Yes.
सवाल से ही डेटा भी आ जाएगा कि कितने लोगों ने why पे आंसर किया, कितने लोगों ने what पे आंसर किया, कितने लोगों ने how पे आंसर किया, right? That is data, and accordingly you say that कि which problem is big, and then you solve it.
Right. So you have been working with so lot of stakeholders, and now you are working with the capitals. So क्या डिफरेंस रहता है एक नॉर्मल स्टेक होल्डर को हैंडल करना एंड वंस यू बिकम योर ओन मैनेजर, वंस यू बिकम योर ओन लीडर, तो you talking to other venture capitalist or people who are outside, you want to grow, तो इनमें क्या डिफरेंस रहता है?
यार डिफरेंस ये है ना कि इंटरनली जब आप स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ काम करते हो तो प्रॉब्लम इतना बड़ा नहीं होता है, राइट? जब आप एक्सटर्नली किसी के साथ काम करते हो, irrespective it's a VC investor or gaming cafe or someone else in the ecosystem, the biggest problem is that you need to tell them their vision. कि तुम्हारा विजन क्या है, what is your motivator, right? Because आप इंटरनली काम करोगे तो मोटिवेशन की जरूरत नहीं होती है,
right?
All just you need to do is that कि हाँ भाई एक टास्क है, टास्क को खत्म करना, right? But externally, I will say, especially when you become an entrepreneur,
yes,
very important part of it is that convincing yourself to convince people. आप खाली लोगों को कन्विंस नहीं कर रहे, आप खुद को कन्विंस करके लोगों को कन्विंस. If you are able to convince yourself for something, this is where you get an experience to convince other people as well. It's a riddle, but end of the day, the riddle is very important factor when you are interacting with other individuals in the external ecosystem.
Yes.
And that's a big difference, I'm telling you. मतलब externally आप कितना, it takes a lot to I will say, there's a word to it, but a lot of willingness to do that. कोई लोग डरते हैं, कोई लोग नहीं कर पाते हैं, करते हैं, ट्राई करते हैं, अटकते हैं, but you need to keep trying it. Internally things are very easy, externally is where you actually get that experience, right?
So product management आपने इवॉल्व होते हुए देखा है. पहले के फ्रेशर्स लाइक आते थे जो, and now the freshers who are coming, what difference do you find?
Yeah, I will say, see, education has become too competitive, okay? And these days, because it's Gen Z, right? A lot of people say it's Gen Z. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it in a perspective that who is who is more enthused in doing what, right? So this is what has changed, because पहले के जमाने में क्या होता था ना कि हम एक we are making a water bottle, we are making an FMCD product, laptop product वगैरह, right? Things have changed drastically. पहले के जमाने पे प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स अलग हुआ करते थे, जो जो बिजनेस हैंडल करते थे इन सेंस ऑफ लैपटॉप बिजनेस, वो अभी भी है. But now that entire shift has happened from product management particularly, that was initially, now building product in itself, right?
Yes.
और बात ये नहीं है कि आप खाली प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर आपको खाली SaaS कंपनीज में मिलेंगी या फिर प्लेटफॉर्म पे मिलेंगे. इट्स you will find a lot of product managers in factories, right? So they are the real product managers as well, because वो प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं वहाँ पे बैठ के,
फिजिकल प्रोडक्ट्स,
फिजिकल प्रोडक्ट्स बना रहे हैं. FMCG बहुत सारी चीजें हैं उसमें. And I see there's a shift, but it's very balanced out.
So what are yeah, please continue.
So there are multiple kinds of product managers, I'll say. Not just that कोई टेक प्रोडक्ट बना रहा है इसका मतलब नहीं कि यही प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर है.
Correct.
So product managers come from very different ecosystem, thought process, क्या बनाना है बेसिकली और क्या सॉल्व करना है.
ये पैराडाइम शिफ्ट हुआ है मतलब ओवर द इयर्स, कि क्या पहले थिंकिंग थी प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स की, अब क्या है.
Right.
So with the time passing, there are lot of things have changed. What are the common mistakes that you see freshers or junior PMs always make?
सच बोलूं मैं, I haven't seen freshers and juniors that closely to maybe observe what mistakes do they do, but I could tell you that what mistakes I might have done, right? Being a fresher into product management.
Right.
First is I didn't look at the product as solving problem. That was the very first mistake that I did. I looked at product as doing something new, doing something different, right? Another mistake that me as a fresher product manager did was that I listened to too much to myself. As a product manager, you need to listen to other people first, and then yourself, right? So these are the two common mistakes I did in my life when I was first introduced to product management as a fresher.
So what are those? अभी बात करते हैं product thinking की. तो if someone is new and trying to start into product management, what are those simple ways to build that product thinking?
So few of those things are, first, step out, right? Step out and look at the world. That's the first and very basic चीज होती है, because आप एक अलग नजरिए से देखना चालू करते हो ना. ऐसा नहीं कि एक एक्सपीरियंस इंडिविजुअल ही अलग नजरिए से देख सकता है. Even the fresher can look at a world with a different angle, where you see different people, right? In India, for example, we are a democratic country in a way. Diversity here, right? Different caste, religion. We look at that part with a different angle, right? Some people look at caste, some people look at religion, some people look at with Indian, कि हम Indians हैं, right? नजरिया, ये नजरिया अगर आप प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट में ये अलग नजरिए से देखोगे थोड़ा, not just that कि मैंने घर से बात देखा, मेरे को ये अच्छा दिख रहा है, मेरे को वो अच्छा दिख रहा है, उसकी डिटेल में जाओगे. This is when you get to know that कि हाँ, there are a lot of things. So attention to detail is very important when it comes to product management. And that's the perspective I believe an individual should follow, not just being a fresher, but someone who is into, I believe, an experienced product management.
So कोई, let's say आप gaming industry में हैं इतने सालों से, someone as a PM who wants to break into this gaming industry, so should he, or is it important for him or her to play games? ऐसा necessary है कि games खेलना ही आना चाहिए उसे, तभी वो एक अच्छा gaming PM बन पाएगा?
Actually, I won't say कि game खेलना ही आना चाहिए, पर खेलना is very important because you know how a product has been built, right? अगर आपने कोई प्रोडक्ट बनाने से पहले कोई वैसा वाला प्रोडक्ट ट्राई नहीं किया होगा, आपको वो इमेजिनेशन नहीं आएगा. So this is where it is important to experience the product that you are trying to build.
Right.
Not the same product, but some other product, so that you know what you are trying to build. But you can start building without actually having to experience it. At least you know that की base problem क्या है, right? देन आपको पता चलेगा कि हाँ भाई मेरे को ये वाला गेम ट्राई करना है, वो वाला गेम ट्राई करना है, या फिर ये वाला प्लेटफॉर्म ट्राई करना है, वो वाला प्लेटफॉर्म ट्राई करना है, जिसमें मैं चीजें कॉमन आइडेंटिफाई करके बेसिकली कॉम्पिटिटिव एनालिसिस करके आई कैन नाउ आई एम एबल टू मेक थिंग्स एंड बिल्ड थिंग्स अकॉर्डिंगली.
क्योंकि आई रिमेंबर द टाइम व्हेन वी वर इन फैन क्लैश, तो ऑल द PMs, you know, whenever their feature or someone else's feature used to come, so they you guys, you know, just sit and experience that flow or whatever that feature that has been released day and night, use
Right.
that day and night, ताकि पता लग सके कि भाई क्या गलती हुई है, हम जो सोच रहे थे वो चीज़ आई है नहीं आई है. आई थिंक yes, you have to, even though you should not be an expert in that, but you should know कि how it works, है ना, एक चीज़
Right.
होती है. तो ये चीज़ लाइक मेरे प्रीवियस पॉडकास्ट में भी ये चीज़ निकल के आई, दैट अंडरस्टैंड टू you know, create a better ecosystem, to create a better product, you need to play out with the product. You have
See,
to
as I
use it
mentioned now,
extensively.
you need to step out. That means you need to communicate with people. अब कैसे करते हो, it's up to you. But step out of your own cubicle and space. This is when you will be able to know कि आप बना क्या रहे हो, बनाया क्या है, और कहाँ वो जाने वाला है, right? In my scenario, what I'm building right now, right, or what I've built right now, believe me, a lot of products work on prototype. ये prototype बन गया, traction आ गया, चल गया. In my case, right, I had to build the entire product. The reason is I'm providing a physical experience, right? So आप at an extent आप कुछ चीजें बना भी दोगे ना, it might not work out.
Yes.
And I got a lot of feedback from a lot of individuals कि यार ये missing है, वो missing है, other platforms are already providing that, and so on. How can I make things different, right? And solve problems quickly, rather than in a way कि एक प्रॉब्लम है उसको कॉपी पेस्ट कर दिया और फिर उसको सॉल्व करो, राइट? प्रॉब्लम अब में भी सेम सॉल्व करो, पर एक अलग पर्सपेक्टिव से भी सॉल्व करोगे ना, बहुत सारी चीजें बदलती है. पर्सपेक्टिव का डिफरेंस होना चाहिए व्हेन यू आर सॉल्विंग समथिंग.
पर्सपेक्टिव खुद से ही आपको डेवलप करना पड़ता है, या फिर आपको लाइक किसी और अपने यूज़र या उसके माइंडसेट से देखना पड़ेगा?
यूजर माइंडसेट से,
मतलब आप पहले यूज़र ऑब्जर्व करो, देन उस पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचना शुरू करो कि वो क्या कर सकता है.
राइट. कस्टमर बिहेवियर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट व्हेन यू आर बिल्डिंग प्रोडक्ट. अगर कस्टमर का बिहेवियर ही आप समझ नहीं पा रहे हो, राइट, you will not know where the journey is going, what the flow is, कहाँ से यूजर कैसे आएगा, कौन सा फीचर अच्छा लगेगा. स्क्रीन पे बिलीव मी 9:16 के रेशियो का स्क्रीन है, उसके ऊपर आपको चाहिए 10 चीजें डालनी हैं, और ये भी समझना है कि कौन सा यूजर वो स्क्रीन के कौन से पिक्सल पे पहले क्लिक करेगा.
Makes sense.
एंड वो अगर पर्सपेक्टिव ही नहीं आएगा तो आप बना ही नहीं पाओगे. मतलब बना दो, वो वही घूमते रह जाएगा. And this has happened with me as well.
ये ना प्री-कंसीव्ड नोशन भी है. प्री-कंसीव्ड नोशन होता है फ्रेशर्स का कि यार मुझे ऐसे ही करना है, या मैं तो यही सीख के आया हूँ, तो मुझे लाइक जैसा आप बोल रहे हो ना कि आपको एक पर्सपेक्टिव चाहिए होता है, बट ये तो विद एक्सपीरियंस आपको पता लगा. बट फ्रेशर्स क्या करते हैं, एक प्री-कंसीव्ड नोशन लेके आते हैं प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट के बारे में. ऐसी कोई मतलब ऐसा कुछ है जो आप फ्रेशर्स को बताओ कि यार इंडस्ट्री में ये चीज़ उनको कोई बताता नहीं है, दैट हार्श रियलिटी, दैट वन कड़वा सच.
सी आई नो एंड आई अंडरस्टैंड. सी क्या होता है ना कि टेक इकोसिस्टम इज वेरी आई विल से पॉपुलेटेड राइट नाउ, राइट? एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट हार्डली किसी के पास क्या टाइम होता है कि यार इसको बताओ उसको बताओ, राइट? So best thing again, as I mentioned, ask questions. You don't wait for someone to tell you. Just ask a random question यार. एक random question सवाल पूछोगे, उसका जवाब मिल गया तो अच्छी बात है, जवाब नहीं मिला है तो छोड़ दो, पर जवाब मिल भी तो सकता है ना. This is when you will get to know कि हाँ बाबा ये है वो है करते. एक सवाल पूछोगे ना तो वो सवाल से 10 चीजें निकलती है. जरूरी नहीं है कि मैंने अगर आज है ना ये पूछा कि यार वो चप्पल की क्वालिटी कैसी है, राइट, वही टॉपिक पे हम कॉन्वर्सेशन करेंगे. The conversation can even move from that particular topic to some other topic. It's just a matter of taking an initiative to ask a question, any random question, right? Believe me, I met one individual just few days back uh, in Mumbai and Delhi. He's interning with the incubation center that we have recently been joined, and even he wants to build a startup. And now he's actually working with an investor to understand कि बाकी के जितने startups जो apply कर रहे हैं, what thought process they come with, right? He's an intern, right? Biggest, one of the biggest thing that I will appreciate about that individual is that he took a step, an initiative to join basically to join a VC or an incubation center, right? कोई आजकल के टाइम पे टेक वाला बंदा ये सोचेगा कि मेरे को जोमेटो ज्वाइन करना है, मेरे को स्विगी ज्वाइन करना है, मेरे को कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म ज्वाइन करना है जो एस्टेब्लिश है या फिर इज फैंसी, राइट? बट कोई ऐसा निश ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या प्रोडक्ट ज्वाइन करके इफ एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई समथिंग, राइट, दिस इज वेयर थिंग्स चेंज. So basically taking that initiative to do something different comes from when you actually think from a different perspective, right? आप एक दुनिया कर रही है और आप भी करोगे, right? You basically in a way that you are stuck in the loop now, right?
भेड़ चाल होगी एक तरीके से.
Exactly. So if you really want to be a product manager, right, you need to look at the world with an angle that maybe someone else is looking at but is very niche, right? Of course at a time अगर आपको आइडिया है तो जरूरी नहीं कि आपके साथ किसी और को आइडिया नहीं आ रहेगा.
Yes. Right? तो ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ये जो आप मुझे बता रहे हो, अभी तक हमने जितनी भी बातें करी प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर या प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट से रिलेटेड, सो अगर आप 17 साल का अपना एक्सपीरियंस देखो, हाउ हैज़ योर डेफिनेशन ऑफ अ गुड प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर चेंज्ड ओवर टाइम?
First of all, you have been telling this 17 years of experience. Let me tell the audience that I don't come from 17 years of product management experience. It's a mix of marketing, product management, business, and now a little bit of development. But to answer your question, I believe it's all about where you start, right? मतलब प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट में इतनी सारी चीजें हैं कि आपको कहाँ पे स्टार्ट करना है. कोई प्रोडक्ट एनालिटिक्स में है, देन समवन इज इनटू प्रोडक्ट जर्नीज, समवन इज इनटू कस्टमर बिहेवियर, प्रोडक्ट मार्केटिंग, राइट? बहुत सारी चीज, राइट? इट्स ऑल अबाउट यू टेकिंग अप वन थिंग एंड दैट टेक्स यू टू अनदर. That's the only, I believe, thing that has worked out for me, and that's how I became a product manager, and now of course I'm building a product by myself.
So you are involved in gaming for so long time. How do you define success for a product feature in a game?
feedback doesn't matter, negative है, positive है, end of the day feedback आ रहा है, that's very important, I believe. And that's what defines success. It's not how many people are using it, such में.
So Go Player के लिए आप कैसे feedback collect करते हो?
So Go Player के लिए there are various ways I take feedback. First is of course gaming cafes is my very top priority when it comes to feedback. Right now we are not onboarding customers.
वहाँ जाके उनको दिखाते हो?
Exactly, right. So I visit gaming cafes in person, owners, and I show them what I built. मैं in person demos देता हूँ. I know at an extent it might not be even possible for me to visit every individual in the world. Maybe. I hope I'm able to visit every individual by myself. I'll be glad if I'm able to do that. But at the moment I visit my top users, I will say, particularly gaming cafes, and I show them that this is what I built. What do you think? Some of the individuals even told me that यार ये तो already किसी ने किया है, right? But how are you doing differently, right? Then this is the kind of feedback that I accept, and this is when I am able to interact कि ये चीज़ उसने की है, but this is the kind of value I'm able to add, right? I'm not saying that कि the product that I built with GoPlayer, right, is one in the world, right? few of the features that we have built is one of the features in the world, right? No one has ever built it. A GCMS with payment gateway, no one has done that. I'm able to do that. Then is there anyone able to extend a slot, like extend sessions right when you are playing? No. People are dependent on the cafe manager कि भाई मेरा slot extend कर दे.
हाँ, टाइम बढ़ा दो.
इतने चिल्लाते हैं गेम खेलते खेलते, भाई मेरा 10 मिनट बच गए, राइट? एक्सटेंड कर, राइट? एंड कितनी बार ये होता है कि कैफे मैनेजर खुद गेम खेल रहा रहता है.
सही बात.
बंदा गेम खेलते खेलते खड़े रह के पीसी के अगेंस्ट देखता है कि किसी का बाकी है. उसकी ईआरपी में जाके देखता है यार इसके 10 मिनट बाकी, इसको पूछ लो भाई तेरे को एक्सटेंड करना है, एक्सटेंड कर रहा हूँ, मैं गेम के अंदर हूँ. राइट? This is one of the features that I solved. So gaming cafe manager doesn't need to do anything, just do community development and management. Rest of the things is GoPlay will be doing for them. This is how we'll help them grow. Right? So basically, if I tell you in one word, right, with GoPlay, I'm just trying to create that craving of gaming among gamers. Right?
Makes sense.
Which has been there inside, but not just coming outside. Right? एक time मैंने पिज्जा खा लिया. I believe me, I'm giving this example to everyone. And I'm glad to Zomato and Swiggy that I'm able to give this example कि आज मैंने पिज्जा खा लिया और कल मेरा खाने का मूड नहीं है. Zomato, Swiggy, they send out a notification, भाई तूने खाया क्या? Right?
Famous.
I want to do that. I want to send out a notification inviting people to go to gaming cafes and tell them that कि कल तो खेला था, आज नहीं खेला तूने, क्या हो गया? Right? And motivate them to play, but at an extent. I am even understand that addiction is one thing that I shouldn't push my users or the ecosystem towards that.
Makes sense.
At an extent आप कहीं पे बेसिकली आप हर चीज को आप कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते, हर यूजर बिहेवियर को कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते हैं. You can at least control your product, and that's something I'll always take care of. And because I want to build a healthy gaming ecosystem. Not just a gaming ecosystem or not just a gaming ecosystem business. I want to build a healthy ecosystem for gamers.
बीच में आपने एक चीज़ बोली थी कि ना फीडबैक के लिए हो चाहे सेल्फ इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए हो, start asking the right question. So how do you do that? How do you ask better product questions before jumping into solutions?
Transparent, if I tell you, I said just ask the question. Question is never right or wrong.
बट अगर आप सही क्वेश्चन पूछोगे नहीं तो आप सही आंसर कैसे मिलेगा आपको?
जवाब गलत ही मिलेगा ना. एटलीस्ट यू नो दैट को गलत जवाब मिला तो मेरे को सही सवाल कौन सा पूछना है.
अच्छा, तो मतलब सवाल पूछो चाहे कैसा भी हो.
अरे एक जवाब का अगर गलत जवाब नहीं, एक सवाल का अगर गलत जवाब नहीं मिलेगा तो आप सही सवाल की तरफ जाओगे कैसे? राइट? देखो क्या होता है ना कि we as an individuals we wait for our turn to ask question. And then when we get our turn, like हमारा टाइम आ गया कि भाई अभी सवाल पूछना है, then we get into a riddle कि मेरे को सवाल पूछना है, right?
Yes, ये बहुत होता है, मेरे साथ भी होता है अभी.
Right? So ये वो चीज है जिसमें अटकना नहीं चाहिए. Just ask what you have in mind. This is what will lead you to the right question for sure.
Right. That makes sense. So अभी थोड़ा टिपिकल सा क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा, मतलब मुझे खुद नहीं पता कि how much of a good product work is pattern recognition versus fresh thinking?
I believe that's a complicated question to answer for myself, but देखो when you build something ना, you are solving problem. So ये आप सोचते नहीं हो कि पैटर्न है या फ्रेश थिंकिंग है, क्या है, right? A lot of people these days, I've seen that, right? They try to apply something different, fresh thinking, कुछ अलग लॉजिक से, right? या फिर A plus B equal to C करने गए, A plus B equal to D हो गया.
मैं ना थोड़ा सा इसको क्लैरिफाई कर दूँ क्यों मैं पूछ रहा हूँ. आजकल जो फ्रेशर्स आ रहे हैं ना, मतलब सबके दिमाग में वो चढ़ा है कि भाई मुझे ना कुछ अलग करके दिखाना है, मुझे ना 99% लोग कर रहे हैं ना उससे कुछ एक अलग चीज़ करके दिखा देनी एकदम फ्रेश थिंकिंग के साथ. तो वो फ्रेश थिंकिंग करने के चक्कर में आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं वो कुछ मिस आउट कर रहे हैं. मतलब ये मेरा अपना बायस है ना, वो उनके अंदर बगावत के आगे कि नहीं ये जो सब लोग कर रहे हैं वो नहीं करना है, कुछ ऐसा ही कर देना है कि बस मज़ा ही आ जाए, है ना.
यार if I tell you now, thanks to content creation, influencers, right? बिकॉज जितना हम इंस्टाग्राम देखते हैं, कितना हम यूट्यूब देखते हैं, कितना हम रील्स देखते हैं, कितना भी कंटेंट देखते हैं, राइट, दिस इज वेयर इट डिराइव्स फ्रॉम कि मुझे कुछ अलग करना है। बिकॉज हर रोज कंटेंट कुछ अलग दिख रहा है, राइट,
यस
कुछ तो नया दिख रहा है। हमारा थॉट प्रोसेस बिल्ड हो रहा है उसके ऊपर कि कुछ तो नया 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 कुछ नया देखना है मेरे को, राइट।
यस
नई मूवी देखनी है, नया टीवी सीरीज देखना है, नया वेब सीरीज देखना है, नया बहुत सारी चीज नहीं देखनी है, राइट। Evolution is the process, right? That will never stop. Doesn't matter what kind of evolution it is. A product evolution, it's a human, human emotions. Even emotions evolve, right?
Correct.
Each is unstoppable, and this is what is. And it's good as well. It's, at an extent, it's good. But as a product manager, as a fresher, you shouldn't get stuck in that loop of thinking new and new and new, right? कुछ पुरानी चीज करके भी आप नई चीजें सॉल्व कर सकते हो। एक पुराना कोई थॉट प्रोसेस लेके आ जाओ 50 साल पहले का, एंड देन यू नो दैट कि बाबा लाइट कैसी जली थी, राइट, मैं ये लाइट को अलग तरीके से कैसे जला सकता हूँ,
करेक्ट,
राइट। दिस इज व्हेन यू स्टार्ट एंड दिस इज वेयर यू इट लीड्स यू टू फ्रेश थिंकिंग एज वेल। सो ऐसा नहीं है कि आप खाली नया सोचोगे तो नया आएगा, आप पुराना सोचो नया भी आएगा, राइट। दैट इज देयर।
मेक सेंस।
आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट कि द प्रोडक्ट दैट आई एम बिल्डिंग इज समथिंग न्यू, nice, right? It's an evolution to the old product, right? In a better way. नई चीजें तो हर किसी को करना है, मुझे भी करनी है, राइट। बट ये नहीं हो सकता कि आप हर बार है ना कुछ स्क्रैच से नया बनाओ, राइट। समवेयर एट एन एक्सटेंट आपको कहीं पे पुरानी चीजों का सपोर्ट लेना ही पड़ेगा, एंड वहां से आपको एक्सटेंड करना पड़ेगा नई चीजों पे। It's a transition. It's a process of transition that leads to evolution.
सो हम बात कर रहे हैं पुरानी चीज़ों की। सो अब गेमिंग के स्पेसिफिक अगर मैं ये पूछूं तो कोई ऐसा बड़ा शिफ्ट जो गेमिंग में अभी आ रहा है दैट टुडेज फ्रेशर हु शुड प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट दे शुड प्रिपेयर फॉर, क्योंकि लोग हैं अभी गेमिंग इंडस्ट्री बड़ी होती जा रही है इंडिया में भी, तो उसका इन्फ्लुएंस सब लोगों पे पड़ रहा है। डेफिनेटली ऐसे भी लोग होंगे जो इस निच में जाना चाह रहे होंगे गेमिंग वाले में। तो व्हाट इज दैट वन शिफ्ट इन द गेमिंग इंडस्ट्री फॉर दैट the today's fresher should prepare for?
See, there are various things. The way we look at sports industry right now, right? We should look at the gaming industry as well. You know, because gaming में खाली आप गेम डेवलप नहीं करते हो, और भी चीजें हैं that's going to come soon when someone starts taking initiative, right? Game journalism,
yes,
right? That's a part of content creation, but that's game journalism is very important, right? कौन सा नया गेम आया, राइट, या फिर गेम के अंदर का इकोसिस्टम, कि गेम है उसके अंदर वो इकोसिस्टम कैसे बढ़ रहा है, कम्युनिटी कैसे बढ़ रही है, हु आर द न्यू गेमर्स, हु इज बिल्डिंग द गेम, राइट। बहुत सारी चीजें, बेसिकली जस्ट वन वे ऑफ इट। another thing is how you one of the other things is that how you define in a way कि गेम as an aspect, right? कि आप क्या क्या नया चीज कर सकते हो in a way, right? As I mentioned earlier as well. So I believe gaming as an ecosystem has a lot of things to do, right? I won't just say game journalism, I'll say marketing, business development, right? ये जो normal चीजें जो दूसरे ecosystem में भी है, but those are not looked at right now because लोगों को इतना knowledge नहीं है gaming ecosystem में मैं करूँ क्या। सबसे पहली चीज है गेमिंग इकोसिस्टम में कुछ करने में आता है, मेरे को गेमर बनना है, राइट, राइट, मेरे को गेम खेल के कमाना है, राइट, मेरे को गेम खेल के ग्रो करना है लेगेसी पर। if you look at gaming ecosystem similar to other ecosystems as well, there are so many things that you can do in the ecosystem, right, you build a platform, you survive it, you scale it, right, growth, marketing, business development, that's one part of it. Then content is another part of it, right? जब content creation कर रहे हो, और content creation करने के लिए platform चाहिए, right? Make something like YouTube, for example, for gaming, right? That's already there, but you can do something different that will help gaming ecosystem grow, right? Not just that. Game testing has been there for ages now, right? But अभी भी क्या है ना कि गेम टेस्टिंग को गेम टेस्टिंग लिटरली लिया जाता है, राइट? गेम टेस्ट करने में इतना सारा एफर्ट, एस्पेक्ट, एज केसेस ढूंढने पड़ते हैं, राइट? इट्स नॉट अ इजी रोल, The very biggest and difficult role of building a product or a game is testing.
Yes.
The biggest, because आप इतने तरीके से आपको सोचना पड़ता है कि ये चीज में क्या प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है. प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए आप एक प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए आपने कुछ बनाया. अभी जो बनाया उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम आ रही है वो ढूंढना होता है, राइट? एंड दैट्स अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट प्रॉब्लम टू सॉल्व, right? So testers in itself are the product managers,
Right.
That's another, and that so there are so many aspects. There are so many point of views, I believe, that's available that one can even look at, but not particularly. I believe a lot of people have a very false opinion and a very false, I'll say, viewing angle, जहाँ पे they feel that कि यार गेमिंग इकोसिस्टम में मुझे खाली गेमर बनना है.
Right.
तभी मेरे को पॉपुलैरिटी मिलेगी, ग्रोथ मिलेगी, रिकॉग्निशन मिलेगी, राइट? दैट्स नॉट. There's so many other things that can be looked into for someone to be a part of the ecosystem, and one of which I believe is content, for sure. That's there. Then there are production as well, because there are a lot of tournaments those are happening globally and in India, right? Someone can look into the broadcasting side of it as well. कि कैसे क्या प्रोड्यूस, कैसे क्या करना है लाइव फीड पे. वन कैन बिकम अ प्रोड्यूसर एज वेल, कि गेम डेवलप करने वाला अलग है, गेम आर्टिस्ट है. वन इज प्रोड्यूसर हु लुक्स एट हाउ व्हाट्स द रोड मैप ऑफ द गेम, क्या है क्या व्हाट्स द रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग वगैरह, बेसिक प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर थिंग्स, बट विद अ ट्विस्ट दैट बेसिक प्रोडक्ट प्रोड्यूसर डज एंड सो ऑन.
सो अभी जैसे एक फाउंडर लेवल का आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ कि लेट्स से कि आप गोप्लाया जो आपका प्लेटफॉर्म है उसके लिए आप जूनियर प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स की हायरिंग कर रहे हो, सो कौन सी क्वालिटीज़ आपको चाहिए होंगे एज अ फाउंडर उनके अंदर?
See, at some point when I'm hiring individuals, right, for product management, I look at someone who is able to add value to the ecosystem. That's the base thing. That is very important. I just don't want people to solve problems. I want people to add values. Problem is one thing that as a product manager is the base of it you need to solve.
तो ऐड वैल्यू कैसे?
In a way, for example, कि आपने कोई फीचर लॉन्च कर दिया, but is that feature helping someone, right? कि वो फीचर की वजह से कैफे में लोग आ रहे हैं? नहीं. वो कैफे कितने लोगों तक जा रहा है? That's very important. लोगों तक जाएगा तभी तो जाके लोग आएंगे, right?
Yes.
ये value add is very important. Value add not in sense of business, in sense of actually helping, right? You don't see. So क्या होता है ना कि हम जब भी कुछ बनाते हैं सबसे पहले हम ये देखते हैं कि हम वैल्यू एड इन सेंस ऑफ नंबर कैसे कर रहे हैं, राइट?
यस,
दैट्स इम्पोर्टेंट. बट वो नंबर आने से पहले कितने, मतलब अब उनसे कितने से कि इज एनीवन हैप्पी, सेटिस्फाइड, राइट? दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर सेटिस्फैक्शन है तो नंबर्स अपने आप आएंगे,
करेक्ट,
राइट? पर वो सेटिस्फैक्शन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस इज वेर यू एड वैल्यू. Someone who is using a product will be able to satisfy himself कि हाँ भाई बहुत सही प्रोडक्ट बना है, बहुत सही फीचर है, it's helping me, right? And then the numbers follow it कि भाई ऐसे ही लोग कितने हैं, right? कितने satisfied लोग हैं, कितने नहीं हैं, जो unsatisfied है उसके क्या प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है. All this comes after that.
So अभी एक अब we are towards wrapping this episode because बहुत लंबी कॉन्वर्सेशन इसके लिए चाहिए होगी टू extract every ounce of knowledge that you have, but since we are at that stage जहाँ पर हमें wrap up करना है, so what is that true final advice that you would give to those budding product managers who are now coming to the industry and with that kind of thinking जो अभी preconceived notion उनके दिमाग में बनी हुई हैं, तो क्या आपका एक वो रहेगा उनके लिए एक मैसेज, एक फीडबैक?
I will say if you're really trying to pursue product management, right, you just need to ask questions, step out. ये मत सोचो कि यार product manager is a role, right? It's a responsibility. सच बोलो तो मतलब product managers के ऊपर if I tell keep it in the right way, has a lot of responsibility of the entire organization, because he is one individual that connects all the dots in the ecosystem,
Yes.
right? The company in itself, the organization in itself is the ecosystem. So come with the thought process that you are able to handle the responsibility, right? I know mistakes happen. Mistakes, गलतियां होती हैं. Let it follow it. But you taking that responsibility, intent is very important, right? You being able to connect all the dots of the organization is very important, right? You
Yes.
being an individual who is interacting with the stakeholder, you being an individual who is interacting with the users, you being an individual who is interacting with the operations team, finance team, marketing team, right? You are the very important individual in that organization. And this is where you need to understand that there is a lot of responsibility on you, and that this is when you will enjoy a role. You don't come with a perspective that product manager is a great role, बहुत नाम होता है, right? You come with the perspective that कि हाँ भाई मजा आएगा करने में.
मजा है,
अब वो
सही
मजा
बात.
कब आता है? When you basically are an individual who is taking responsibility and coming within it.
Ownership.
Right. Ownership. Exactly.
So and that brings us to the end of this very powerful conversation with our guest Ashwin Jain, a product leader who turned into a founder himself, who's not just building a platform, the Go Playa, but enabling the entire ecosystem of gamers and cafes to thrive together.
Absolutely.
I don't think I have enough words to express my heartfelt gratitude for coming to this podcast and obliging me with such a huge experience. एक पॉडकास्ट काफ़ी नहीं है आपके इस एक्सपीरियंस को कवर अप करने के लिए, बट स्टिल आई ट्राइड माई बेस्ट कि मैं अच्छे क्वेश्चंस पूछ पाऊँ. थोड़ा मैं भी सीखा हूँ एज अ होस्ट कि मुझे क्या चीज़ और इम्प्रूव करनी है, एंड आई होप आपको भी अच्छा लगा होगा.
Truly, Bharat, this is my first podcast of life. Right? I've been a part of various interviews, right? But those were straight out of questions and answers and so on.
Yeah.
But this is something which has actually helped me learn from the conversation.
Yeah.
Where I believe that it's not just about interaction; it's about sharing as well, right?
Yes.
So great conversations happen when you share something, right?
Yes.
And I believe you have shared a lot of information with me, and that will be very helpful for me as well, because these questions are not just questions, right? It's an experience that I will take forward in my
Yes.
journey as well, right? And just to correct yourself again, it's Go Player. It's
Player.
not Go Player. I know it spells that way, but there's an ideology in the name that Go Player doesn't come with ER, because gaming cafes have been invisible in the ecosystem for 30 years. The day they become visible to a lot of other people, the day I'm able to add value, we'll add ER to the name, and this is when it will become Go Player properly. But still, we'll pronounce it at Go Player and without ER particularly.
So ये आपने खुद से सोचा है या फिर समथिंग विच इज जो ऐसा कुछ है कन्वेंशन?
Actually, encourage करना था gamers को कि how can I encourage gamers to go to cafes, right? Go Player, right? And in itself, कहाँ जा रहे हैं gaming cafe, and जहाँ जा रहे हैं वो, like what are they facing, right? The problem they are facing, that should come in the name.
Right. This is so awesome.
And this is where I realized that I believe some letters of my brand name should be silent, invisible particularly. Not silent, I will say, it's just spells that way, but it should be invisible until the ecosystem grows and builds in itself.
Wow. Amazing यार, ये तो मतलब this is the vision. This is actually called the vision. Very nice. Once again, thank you so much for joining the podcast, The Unspoken Pros, where we host pros like you, Ashwin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bharat. It was nice being on the podcast. Best of luck and great initiative again.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, bye.